One of the most asked questions I see anywhere I look is, how do I do my emblems? So if you've ever asked that question, stay tuned, because not only will I give you some great tips along the way to save emblems or to find more emblems, but I'll also give you the easiest overall way to know that you're doing your emblems correctly. Greetings, loyal minions. Welcome back to the SciShow, the #1 rated YouTube channel for people with kidney stones. So if that's you, I appreciate you. And to the 92.5% of people who are watching but not yet subscribed, did you know that simply by subscribing to my channel, you will have up to a 92.5% better chance of passing a kidney stone. So please gently caress that subscribe button now, and let's take this thing beyond the horizon. If you're watching this video, you most likely already know what emblems are, so they're those great little blue tokens that make our heroes stronger. A couple of places you can get emblems. Now, they're not quite as hard to find as they used to be, so hopefully you've already got quite a few, but one good way of getting emblems is to skip these little chests. So I generally skip the raid chest whenever I have enough raid energy, 5 or 6. I have plenty of flasks as well, just to go through those wanted chest missions. And the more you skip those, the quicker you get through to the elemental chest, which will give you a decent amount of emblems generally, but you do also get a few little emblems from each chest occasionally. You also get them from the Mystic Vision video, so that's always a good way to get a few. And if you are spending money, then we have the Paths of Valor and Paths of Giants, which will give you quite a few if you do spend a little bit, as we can see, but even on the free side, you can get a few little emblems there. So that's one way to stock those emblems up. Touching on a few important points when it comes to emblems. Firstly, the heroes you choose. You want to make sure that you're choosing heroes that you're going to use long term, or that you're using in a lot of different places in the game. Depending where you are in your EMP journey, that could be your war defense team to really bulk them up. It could be your event teams, or it could just be your raiding teams, or even your just standard battle teams to try and get through the map stages. So that's the first thing. Second is making sure you do it correctly. Now, the great thing is there is no totally incorrect way of putting on emblems, and I'm going to show you some examples later as to why that's the case, even though some people will tell you there's only one way to emblem a certain hero. Yeah, stick around. I've got some little examples to show you, and then at the end I'm going to give you the absolute easiest way to just know that you're doing it correctly. So yeah, keep in mind they are quite expensive from a resource point of view. They do cost a lot of ham and iron to put on, so make sure that you're putting them on heroes you want and putting them on as well as you can to match the hero skills, to make sure you don't need to reset and waste more resources redoing it. To show you the difference it makes depending on which emblem path you take, I've got a hero here that I have 2 copies of, and I've emblemed them for you in totally different ways. So we'll have a look at the first one. We can see I've gone full on defense and health basically. So everywhere I could, I've taken the defense and health as opposed to taking attack. Now, generally the health will give you 36 points and the defense bonus on these normal ones will be 18. Now, generally 1 defense is seen as slightly better than 2 health. That's because of the way the damage is calculated in the game. However, there are other things that can play a part with that, like the amount of health you actually heal when you're being healed, and also the defense boost that you'll get when you have any defense buffs on. There's also other skills that heroes have that will ignore those type of things. So generally defense is slightly better, but it's not really a big deal. So on this particular hero, I've gone as many health and defense nodes as I can, and of course you still get a bit of attack along the way as well. With the second version of the hero, I have gone with as much attack as possible. So you'll see here I've gone attack and defense, attack and health. So anywhere I could take attack, I've taken attack. Now, I will just show you in a minute the difference this makes on the hero stats and the difference that makes in certain battle scenarios. Keeping in mind that some of these nodes you obviously have to take whichever it's offering, and there's some where you won't get to choose between, say, health and attack. It may be something like a healing bonus and mana. So choose those ones wisely. But again, keep in mind there is no incorrect way, and my next demonstration will show why. And the difference is clear to see with our Treeville at the top having 90 additional attack, however 71 less defense and 79 less health points. So let's take a look at what that means in a battle. First up, we can see the difference between healing. The Trevel on the left with a higher health total is healing for an additional 36 points. Next up, we can see the damage difference between the two different emblem paths, with the Trevel with more attack doing on average 57 extra damage. Here we can see not only the original defense difference, but also the difference once a defensive buff is active of 48 defense. And lastly, before I give you my easy tip on how to emblem any of your heroes, we just want to take a look at the difference this can make. So here we can see that we have our Trevel on the left, who has just been hit by the enemy for a damage total of 228. In the same battle, we can now see on the right hand side the Trevel, which didn't have the added defense and health, is sitting on a health total of 233. Now, based on that hit above, that would suggest he may survive one more hit. However, as we see, he takes a hit for 245 damage due to his low defense stat. This is enough to kill him and render him useless. So this is a prime example of how in most cases there is no absolute terrible way of emblem, as sometimes the health or defense can be more important as attack depending on the situation, even for an attacking hero. Keeping that in mind, let's move on to my big tip for how you can emblem most of your heroes that will work for most of the scenarios and just keep you on the right track. The surefire way of making sure you don't regret your decisions is to keep it simple. If you have a hero who is built for basically nothing but attack, then put as many attack nodes on as you can. If you have a hero you need to stick around because they're not attacking, such as a healer like Fungustine, you would go as much defense and health as possible, prioritizing defense unless there's a special circumstance. So circumstances where you would go health is where you have a hero that produces minions. So again, those minions are based off the health of the caster, so therefore the more health the caster has, the more health your minions will have. There are obviously other variations and you can play around with a little bit. If you find a hero that is just not surviving long enough, you might want to give them a little bit of extra health or defense. And some heroes just have low overall defense to start with, such as the new Ninja Nomad. We can see here with defense of 1067 as opposed to say a White Fang who has 1133. So again, a hero like that you may just want to throw a little bit of defense on to make sure they stick around and you can use their attacking skill. One final tip as I give a shout out to the legendary Gmork and Princess PP, a couple of legends from global chat, is to remember with your costume heroes that you're checking the correct talent path. So as we can see with Hathor, the original version is a sorcerer, which means we're going to be using sorcerer emblems to put emblems on. But as we can see, the path is actually different as the costume version of a cleric. So what you need to do is check where you want your cleric emblems. So in this point, we want the left-hand side because that's where we've got the health and defense. And you need to then go back to the original version to actually put those emblems on. So again, even if this showed attack on the left hand side for the sorcerer, we would put the emblems on the left hand side if we wanted that for the costume version. So it does depend on which version you're going to use, but just keep in mind you can get a little bit messed up putting those on the costume, so just keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps and all the best with your embleming from here on out. Please remember to check out my other videos up here, over there, somewhere on the screen. And keep in mind, as a new channel, the only way I can grow is with your support. So please gently caress that subscribe button and let's take this thing beyond the horizon.